want to do some workshops where we have limited time with our friend Todd Halterman, and he comes on and gives us some great information all the time. And at this time of year, a lot of folks are out there, they're spending money, and in about 35 days, they get this massive hangover. No, it's not from alcohol. That's a different hangover. But they get this spending hangover, and they say, you know something, I spent a lot of money during the holidays. Now what am I going to do? Well, we're going to give you the information right now. You can get started with your thought process. Talk it over with your friends, family, coworkers. Get the information direct from us. But Todd Halterman, welcome, buddy. I'm glad you're with us.
Oh, man, good morning. It's great to be here. Your show is always enlightening. I love to hear your truths. You hit people straight, and it's nice to hear.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So let's get into it. We've got a workshop this morning, and we're going to talk about how we can actually get rid of family debt. So let's just go and take a look. We've got some slides here. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you can actually see some slides that we've got going here. And it's business solutions is our subject today. So let's get the next slide there, and we'll give it a whirl here. So we got Joe. I'm going to give you the foundation, and Todd's going to tell us some solutions. So we got Joe, 50-year-old small business owner, does well on a day-to-day basis, but is usually hindered by one of the following problems. Maybe you're hindered with these too: debt, cash flow, taxes, flexibility. I'm always hindered by flexibility. But let's move on to the next one. Let's see if we got a layout of what his debts are. This is pretty basic debts. I mean, he's got equipment debt, 5% interest, car, 3.5% car loan. Let's see. He's got more equipment for 5.5%. He's got a truck at 5.25%. Construction loan, 4.5%. Line of credit, it's a good rate on that line of credit, 5.99. Primary residence, 4%. So looking at this total 4.82 debt, $2,135,900, and his payments every month. Oof, God, this is painful. $26,286 a month. That's think about that. So every day when Joe gets up, he has to make $26,286 for that month just to stay above water. Right? That's he doesn't get to eat. He does have a roof over his head. He doesn't get to put any gas in his car. He doesn't go to any restaurants on this. These are what we call fixed expenses, debt service. So maybe you've got a solution here, Todd.
You bet. So with this debt solution, the situation is most Americans, especially those that have gone through the Dave Ramsey program, they've learned that getting out of debt is the key to building sustainable wealth. It's one thing to build your life and build a business. It's another thing to help reconcile debt. So in a traditional setting, Joe's business will be in debt for about 27 to 28 more years. I'm paying over $650,000 in overall interest. So that $26,000 is going to debt every month, isn't effectively being placed. And what we're doing is we're showing people how to shorten that life cycle of 27.8 years to below 10 years without having them spending any more money than they spend right now. The nice thing is telling people they don't have to spend any more money than they do right now, and they can reapportion how they paid their bills to get out of debt in less than 10 years. They'll sit forward and they usually listen and ask how.
So look at that number, though, $650,000. So if you're a 35 or 40-year-old, $650,000. Now, you're going to still have some interest, I'm assuming. We're going to hear that from Todd. But if you could take any portion of $650,000.
Well, and remember, Joe's 50. So 27.8 years from now, Joe is almost 80.
80 years old. Looking at it, yeah, you're right.
So this is causing Joe some concern about his retirement outlook too. It causes some confusion and some stress.
And if Joe's family household is anything like mine, not only is Joe looking at stress, he's getting stress from Mama too, because Mama's not too happy about not getting to get into that retirement world if they want to. So let's see if we've got some solutions here. We got to find solutions, Todd.
Well, first thing that the small business owner wants to do is they want to increase their cash flow. Yes, they want to eliminate debt, but my experience shows that business owners want to increase cash flow because that's their golden goose at this point. If they can create flexibility with their planning, this is real planning, Ron, then that can help potentially decrease taxes and, of course, eliminate those debts. But the challenge is whenever you focus on getting out of debt, it usually hurts your cash flow painfully. It makes you less flexible. And then because you're using more money to pay off debts, it creates phantom income. And sometimes that increases taxes. So we have to create a tax efficient way for people to organize their finances and pay their bills monthly that makes sense to an actuary, a mathematical scientist, much like people go to a CPA to get a tax return done. If they want to get out of debt, they should ask an actuary, how should they reapportion their finances for their cash flow to get out of debt quicker and to not spend more than they're spending right now?
And an actuary is the same type of person that deals with life insurance companies, right? So they figure out how they can charge you whatever, $100 a month, but give you $1 million life insurance policy and not go out of business.
Yeah, actuaries are doctors in science of math, and what they're able to do is to calculate the best use of money, or obviously actuarially figure out mortality tables versus cash values. They do more than life insurance, but they are the numbers crunchers extraordinaire. Just like an economist evaluates economies, actuaries evaluate cash flow analysis and monies and time value of monies.
Okay, so let's see what do we have next there. Let's get to the next one.
So what we want to do is we want to help these people get from the current debt payoff from 27.8 years. And if they follow the program that we laid out for them, Joe and his wife simply filled out some reports with us and did an intake analysis. And then we worked with our team of actuaries to analyze how they can actually apportion their cash differently, but not spend more than they're spending right now. And in this case, we could save them over $270,000 in interest and get them out of debt in less than 7 years at this point. So if we can get them out of debt in 7 years, Joe is 57 and he's freed up over $26,000 a month in cash flow. Okay, that's $300,000 extra every year in 7 years that they can improve their life and give them a heck of a lot more confidence on how to get retired someday.
You got to back up here, Todd. So we're going to get out of debt in 6.4 years from 27.8 and save over $250,000 in interest. And this is from an actuary.
Yes, sir. Here's the best part, Ron. We can actually tell people it's guaranteed. If they follow the system, it's guaranteed.
Wow. And we don't usually talk about too much that's guaranteed in this world, but you look at some of these things and you say, it almost seems like it's got to be too good to be true. But hey, you know something? You mentioned the form, but before we went live today, we did create a little bit of a brief form, a real short form for you. So go to rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com. We'll have Josh put that up on the screen for you. rsrnodebt.com. It's a real brief form to get you started, and then we'll put you in touch with Todd's team to see if it makes sense for you. What else do we have here? Let's go to the next slide and see what
the nice thing is when we talked to Joe and his wife, they were like up front, how much is it going to cost us to figure this out? And here's the good news. We don't charge to do an analysis. We don't charge to give out reports. We only ask people to sit down with us to figure out how much that could benefit them, if it can benefit them at all. And then when it works, we talk about how our team is compensated through that process. But we are paid to do this for people, but only when it works.
Okay, so there's really no risk involved in going and doing that form that we just put up on the screen, or getting that initial consultation.
Yeah, the analysis is an exercise to help them discover that there may be a different way for them to tackle their monthly cash flow and bills. And we have an actuarial scientist that looks at it and helps them realign how they're doing it, much like a CPA helps people realign how they do tax returns.
Okay, so let's looks like we got a little bit of a recap here, putting this into perspective.
Yep.
So go ahead.
In essence, they could be debt-free and have over $10 million in liquidity in 28 years following this plan, as opposed to paying the $650,000 of extra interest and being 77 years of age before they're debt-free and hopefully retired.
God, there's like a no-brainer, Todd. I mean, if you're now, what if I don't own a business? Will these same philosophies or programs help me if I'm not a business owner, or is this just for business owners?
No, it's for all Americans. We just have noticed that small business owners are really that catalyst to economic growth and hiring people. And we believe that as an organization and firm, the more business owners I can help get more financially confident, the more they can pay their employees, the more they can hire people, and the more we can help expand this economy and give better confidence to Americans again with their finances. So we just choose to focus on small business owners to give an example, but this works for individual families alike.
That's awesome. Let's look at some of all the benefits of this whole program then, Todd.
Well, the reality is, I'm going to focus on one. Increase your confidence in how you're going to live someday when you're retired. If all we did was work on building your own little private bank to get out of debt, imagine being able to have the tax savings. Imagine the increased cash flow, liquidity. The succession planning is simple. It's making sure you have enough money to help the business get sold or handed over to the next manager or person that's going to buy it. The part of our family bank that's nice is that once the debts are paid off, the bank that we create still accumulates cash. So it doesn't stop there. There are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars available at retirement because we help Americans create their own little family bank that they use with tax incentives to be able to back their life and get out of debt. And then, of course, pay for some tax-free income when they do retire.
And we're big fans of tax-free anything. So let's, you gotta love that tax-free idea. Okay, so what do we do next?
So if you think about it, what we've got to do is identify people's personal needs. If you're somebody that has a business or doesn't have a business, but you've got mortgage debt, you've got student loan debt, you've got credit card debt, you have automobile debt, you have credit card debt, you are the person that I love helping. This situation is paramount for Americans to pay attention to, so we can help you figure out if you can qualify to build your own family bank or not, and how that works if you qualify. But it only works if you go out to the RSR website, fill out that quick questionnaire, and spend 10 minutes with a pro on our team, just 10 minutes to talk about your situation to make sure this is a good approach for you and worth your time if you qualify.
So there we go. It's rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com. That's the site just to see if it works for you. I don't know if it's going to or not, but I will tell you, we do have a family that it did work for. And I kind of set up a little bit of a demo so you can get an idea how. Now, this was not a business. This was just a family that had a bunch of debt, and there's solutions for them. You can actually see that at rsrrapidpayoff.com. rsrrapidpayoff.com. It's just a simple little website that or a dashboard we put together. You can see how it helped one family. I don't know if that's your family or not, but if you're a typical American family, you've got a mortgage, you've got some credit card debt, you've got some auto payments, you student loans. It might be worth your time to explore this. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets.